Hello, welcome back to the debate with me, Laura Woods, Paul Merson and Jamie O'Hara. And now we're focusing our attention on Jurgen Klopp. It's an interesting one, guys. He basically has come out and said that at the end of his contract with Liverpool, he's considering taking a sabbatical. We've seen managers do it in the past. We know that his close friend, David Wagner, took time out, left Huddersfield and decided just to focus on himself for a moment. We've also seen Pep Guardiola do it too. You've both been in that position, you now.
Yeah.
I mean, how difficult can management be?
It's incredibly, it's draining, it's hard. As a player, when you play, you train, you go home, you switch off, you forget about football, you worry about yourself. You play in a team, but you worry about yourself. When you're a manager, you're responsible for everything. Every player, every staff, the fans, you know, preparation, interviews. And when you're at that level, when you've got to keep producing at that level, it's hard. It must be incredibly difficult to just keep your levels high and keep being the best all the time. So for me, I think you might see a bit more of this. I don't think it happens in a championship manager or, you know, a League One manager. I don't think you get the opportunity. You have to keep being in jobs and you have to keep doing well. I think you'll only see the top class, high-end managers, them taking a bit of time off for me.
What did you think about it, Paul, when you were managing?
Oh,
you weren't very good.
I wasn't in long enough to have a rest. You're having a laugh.
6 weeks or something, wasn't it?
No, I was there a while. I can understand Jurgen Klopp. That didn't shock me. Didn't shock me. It's a hard job, management. It is such a hard job. I mean, there's just not enough hours in the day. There isn't. There's just not enough. And where Man City have set the bar so high, it's not even like everything's got to be perfect week in, week out. I mean, it's getting to a stage now, if you lost 2 on the trot,
you're out of it.
That'll be it. You know, it's that relentless. And I can understand it. I can really relate to it. I can really understand it. You know, what it
For the weeks
must
that you were in it.
A couple of weeks. It was more than a couple of weeks. It was more than a couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, you know, that was where at my level, at that level, as I say, it's just relentless. It's relentless.
Jurgen Klopp said he's either 100% in it or he's not at all. There's no let-up, right? You have to be at that age.
That is the problem you've got, is, as you said, Man City and teams have just, and the Premier League have just gone to another level, and, you know, they're expected to produce now, Liverpool. They're the champions of Europe. So you've got to keep setting your bar high. You've got to keep improving. And how do you keep improving on a team and the season they just had? And it's so hard. Mentally, you never, ever switch off. You leave that training ground, he's going home, and I guarantee all he's thinking about is football.
Is it also for the players that you're managing, trying to keep things fresh, trying to keep the intensity up? Can it be difficult to motivate the same group of players if you're there for year after year? Maybe that's not the right question for you.
No, I mean, these are professional footballers. It's a different age now. You know, these are real professional footballers. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of high maintenance. I don't think you have to sit there and worry about players going out and what they're doing on a Saturday night and what they're doing midweeks. You know, you just got to make sure these are fit and they're ready to go on Saturday. The problem is this day you have 20 world-class players and only the 11 you're going to keep happy. To keep the other half happy and not to have a bad apple in there, or to start, you know, going, oh, the manager's no good, you know, because he's not playing, and he starts getting into other players. So that's the hard part of the job. But as I say, it'd be interesting if Liverpool went and won the Premier League this year if he took it after that. Because I don't know where you go with Liverpool.
Well, Mauricio Pochettino did say, didn't he, if they'd have won the Champions League, that might have been the time that he left.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd have had a break. I think
he would have gone in somewhere else?
Yeah, I think what you got to understand is that Klopp is like high value right now, so he can take that time off if he feels it's necessary. Pochettino, he's done great at Tottenham, he's done incredible things, but he still needs to go into another big job. I don't think he could take 6 months off and then that big job come to him.
Why do you think that, though, if he'd have won the Champions League?
I mean, if they won the Champions League, potentially it might be different.
You've got to win the league.
You've got to win the league, yeah.
It's 38 games.
Like, Klopp's done it over a period of time as well. He's done it at Dortmund, you know, he's done big things. He's at that level now where he could take time off if he felt like, you know what, I need a break. And it is mentally draining, but them jobs don't come up very often.
We're focusing, Paul, on the top tier here. The managers that are further down the footballing pyramid have less support. Just as much pressure in their own worlds, though. Massive. Is it harder for them?
Well, Massively, of course it is. But they have to work. They're not getting 70, 80, 90, 100, 150 grand a week. They will have to keep on working and the pressure's there. The managers down in the lower leagues, they got to put food on the table. I know it might sound extreme, but it is. They're not getting mega money for their job. Their job is so hard. That lower league football is, honestly, I can't explain. When I was in it, I just finished and I went into it. I couldn't believe how hard it was. It was the hardest thing I did in football. It was just so hard. You're really so reliant on other people. When you're playing yourself in a game, you have that chance to make it happen and you're on the pitch, you feel comfortable. You know, when it's like getting on a plane, the pilot don't feel like the passenger because the pilot's flying the plane. And it's a bit like football. The manager is like, it's all out of his hands. He's just got to rely on the players.
Did you feel as well, because of the level that you played football, it was difficult for you to teach them what you know? Or the ability?
Yeah, you have to. That comes. You have to be patient with that. You have to. That takes time. I mean, I was fortunate. There was a youth team coach at the time at Walsall called Mick Holsall. He was a real good coach. Really good. And when I got in, I sat down with him and I said, "What do you think?" And a bit of advice. He said, "You've got to keep on telling the players. Keep on telling them. Keep on telling them." And I went, "What?" And he went, "You've got to keep on telling them 3-4 times." I couldn't understand that. That was the one thing that done my head, because when you're playing at that level, up the top, you're told once. And if you have to be told again, you're out the club. Yeah. And that's the one thing I couldn't get to grips with, that you had to keep on telling the players again and again and again. And that was my hardest part. But no, it's such a hard job. It's you know, when you look now, people don't realise, you know, what's happening at the moment with Bury and the other clubs. You've got to think of not just Bury and them clubs, the clubs they're meant to be playing that week. You've got to think of them. They're going another week without money coming into the club. You cannot believe how tight that is. So say like Bury are playing Tranmere and Tranmere play at home, then they play away and then they're playing Bury and that game's off. That's 2, 3, 4 weeks without a home game. Honestly, you can't underestimate how bad that is, how hard it is for that team not to play a game. And that's how hard it is down there. These managers, they do such a great job. It's such a hard job to do, but they have to keep on going because they're not getting 100. Jurgen Klopp can stop now and never work again.